Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 19th of February 2024. In today's newspaper analysis, we are going to understand the most important articles from the newspaper, and also we are going to cover a mapping topic that will help you to solve map related questions in the prelims exam. So let us quickly see the list of articles that we are going to cover in today's newspaper analysis. So in all, we are going to cover about 9 topics today. Okay, most of these articles are from the editorial section of the newspaper. So let us now start the discussion with the first topic, and this is related to mapping. So it is covered under places in news, and the topic that we are going to cover is Senegal. Okay, we are going to discuss about Senegal today. So Senegal is a name of a country in Africa. Africa is a continent that has more than 50 countries, around 55 countries are there in Africa. So here Senegal is one of the country in Africa. This is located in the western side of Africa. So here, let's say this is Africa. So Africa is, let's say, a very big continent. Okay. So in Africa, in the western side of Africa, this shaded country that we can see here, this is Senegal. Okay. And what is important for you to remember as part of Senegal is that Senegal lies between equator and Tropic of Cancer. Okay, it lies between equator and Tropic of Cancer. It does have maritime border, right? It does have maritime border with Atlantic Ocean. Which ocean? Atlantic Ocean. It has maritime border with Atlantic Ocean. Apart from this, when we talk about prime meridian, right? This prime meridian does not pass through Senegal. This is also important. Why Africa is very important continent? It is because through Africa, all the 3 important lines, that is the equator, Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn passes, right? These lines passes through Africa. However, none of these lines passes through Senegal. Senegal is a western country, and this country, let's say, share its maritime border with Atlantic Ocean. This is what is important for you to remember. And here, if we talk about name of countries with which Senegal shares its borders, right? Name of countries with which Senegal shares its border. These are one of the countries, Mauritania, other is Mali. Okay. Then we have 2 more countries. One is known as Guinea and we have Guinea-Bissau. Okay. This Mauritania, Mali, Guinea and Guinea-Bissau. These are the countries with which Senegal shares its border. Apart from this, it has its, let's say, like, border touching Atlantic Ocean. Okay. These are the things. And also we do have a very small country over here. This is a very small country, right? So this country is somehow sandwiched. Let's say, like, this country is sandwiched within Senegal. This is known as the Gambia. Okay, this is the Gambia. So this is the thing. It is important for you to remember Mauritania, Mali, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau and Gambia. Okay, these are the countries with which Senegal shares its border. And why is Senegal in news? Senegal is in news related to political affairs. So the outgoing president of Senegal has recently decided to postpone the national election in their country. And since he has postponed, so effectively he has got, let's say, some extra term to remain in office. So he is going to get about 10 more months to remain in office. And this has become controversial. Various political parties in Senegal are opposing this particular move of the president. And not only this, they let's say, like, there are stress in the country. There are turmoil in the country. I mean, like, huge number of people are protesting against this move of the president of Senegal. This is the thing. So having understood this topic, let us now quickly understand the first article from the newspaper. So this article is very important for us to remember. Why this article is important? Because this article talks about the education that is being imparted in schools in the country. Basically, we are going to talk about the primary level of education that is being provided, right? Primary and pre-primary level of education. So when we talk about primary level of education, So in the primary level of education, students are taught from class 1 to 6 class, okay, class 1 to 6 class students, or 1 to 5, right, to be specific, 1 to 5 class students are part of primary schooling. After then they, let's say, like, go to the let's say, like, second stage of schooling. So here the question is about who are eligible to teach in government primary schools. So related to this, recently there was a judgment from a high court. This judgment came from Rajasthan High Court. Which High Court? Rajasthan High Court has recently given a judgment. In that judgment, Rajasthan High Court has clarified the eligibility of the teachers who are going to teach the students in the primary and pre-primary level education, right? Primary and pre-primary. So basically, Rajasthan High Court has clarified that those people who hold the degree, right, bachelor in elementary education. So some of the, let's say, like, degrees are mentioned over here, degrees and diplomas. One of them is known as diploma in education, diploma in elementary education, or bachelor of elementary education. So those teachers who have done any of these qualifications, they are eligible, right, to teach in the pre-primary and primary level, let's say, students. Let's say they will be eligible to teach those students. And what about those people who have B.Ed degrees? What about those people who have Bachelor of Education degrees? So basically, those teachers who hold Bachelor of Education degrees, they are eligible to teach the students who are in the higher primary level or who are in the secondary level of education. For example, those people who will be teaching from class 6 to 8th, okay, let's say class 6 to 8, or let's say 9th and 10th. So here people who have B.Ed degree, Bachelor of Education, so they will be teaching. So High Court has clarified that to teach the students in the pre-primary level and also in the primary level from 1 to 5 classes, the teacher should have the qualification of diploma in education, diploma in elementary education, or bachelor of elementary education. If they have any of these degrees, they will be eligible to teach in these schools. And those people who hold Bachelor of Education degree, they will not be allowed to teach in the primary and pre-primary level schools in government schools basically. So the thing is, like, there has been a report or a survey has been conducted. In that report, they have identified that, like, what is the proportion of teachers who are teaching in different schools, right, in the country. So do they possess any technical qualification? Do they have professional qualification or not? So basically it was found, right, it was found that, like, in schools, 90% of the teachers who are teaching in government schools does have a professional qualification, right, and 10% people do not have professional qualification. So, like, so those people who do not have professional qualification, they are either teaching in private schools or they are teaching in some government schools, right? But the thing is, like, many of them does have B.Ed degrees. So High Court has clarified that, like, teachers' eligibility will be considered based on these kind of diplomas or degree that they have: diploma in education, diploma in elementary education, or bachelor of elementary education. If they possess bachelor in education degree, so they will not be eligible to teach in the pre-primary and primary level of education. Why? Because teaching a student who is in pre-primary or in primary level of education, it requires specialized skills in the teachers. Skills, for example, like, to coordinate, to cooperate with those students who are very less aged, right? So these skills are, let's say, attained by those teachers who get trained, right, in teaching primary level students. So generally these kind of qualities are not taught to a let's say, like, aspiring teacher who acquires bachelor in education degree. So that's why the High Court judgment is very important, and this judgment clarifies, basically this judgment actually gives a new slate, right? New slate in the sense, the teachers who are qualified to teach in the pre-primary level, they will be teaching from now on, right? So this is what is clarified. So in this article, basically they have talked about a report What is the name of that report? It is known as the State of Teachers, Teaching and Teachers Education Report 2023. In short, it is known as SOTER 2023. This report shows that 90% of the teachers have some form of professional qualification. Of the 10% who do not have professional qualification, 61% of them are in private sector. 61% of this group are working in the rural areas. Okay, this is what this particular report talks about. Apart from this, in the Union Budget of 2023, there was an announcement. Okay, Union Budget of 2023 had an announcement, and in that announcement, they have included commitment to continue the scheme of Pradhan Mantri Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. Okay, so like basically in this budget announcement 2023, government has said that government has made a commitment that they are going to, let's say, continue this particular scheme. This scheme is to benefit the teachers and teachers training, right? So that like they are capable enough to teach, let's say, like, elementary level students or primary level of students in schools. Okay, so finally in this article what they say is that it's this particular let's say judgment of the Rajasthan High Court sets the stage for ensuring suitably qualified teachers, as the B.Ed degrees does not serve all school stages. Okay, so this, High Court judgment has clarified that B.Ed degree does not serve for all the level of education in the schools, right? So they are specific to some kind of, let's say, like, classes from 6th to 8th or 9th to 10th, right? From 1 to 5 or elementary level of education, we need specific degrees from the teachers, and they are diploma in education, diploma in elementary education, and bachelor of elementary education. So this is all. So with this, now let us quickly move to another article, right? So now we are going to discuss the second article, and this article is also very important for us to understand. So basically, what is this article all about? It talks about merit. Okay, so the core idea of this article is merit. So it says recalibrating merit in the age of artificial intelligence. All right, so all of us know what do we mean by merit. So basically the concept of meritocracy, wherein individuals are rewarded and advanced based on their abilities, achievements and hard work rather than their social status or background, has been extensively debated. So now let us understand about the concept merit. Okay, this is going to be very important. So what do we mean by merit? Merit means the intelligence of a candidate, the hard work that the candidate puts and the effort that the candidate puts, right? So these are the parameters based on which the person, right, progresses in his or her life. These are the things on the basis of which a person makes progress in his or her career, right? So this idea of meritocracy has been widely debated for a long time. But the thing is, what has happened now, the meritocracy, the idea of meritocracy has reached, right, at a cusp. Okay, it has reached to a point where, let's say, it is the idea of meritocracy is being challenged. Why it is being challenged? It is being challenged because of artificial intelligence. It is being challenged because of artificial intelligence. Now let us discuss how artificial intelligence is challenging, right, meritocracy. So basically, artificial intelligence systems are those systems that are capable of performing certain kind of functions in a manner where sometimes artificial intelligence let's say systems are outperforming human beings. They are even outperforming highly intellectual human beings. So what is happening basically when we talk about meritocracy? So few individuals, right, few individuals who have the intelligence, who have, let's say, put effort, who have, let's say, done hard work. So basically they progress, right? They progress in their career. They progress and like they go to the next stages in their academic achievement. They make progress However, when artificial intelligence came, now what is happening, if there is a person who is, let's say, not as skilled, not as much intellectual as this particular person is, but like, you know, this person, let's say, is supported by an artificial intelligence system, means like this person does have access to an artificial intelligence system. So what this person is going to do, let's consider this person is producing a work which is A plus B. Okay, this person is producing a work which is A plus B, and here human beings who have put so much effort on building their skill, who have put so much effort in, let's say, like, you know, creating potential in a certain field. So these person actually is creating a work which is of value A only. So the thing is, what artificial intelligence is doing, it is basically changing the equation that has been, let's say, in existence for a long period of time because of meritocracy. Why it is challenging this particular thing? Because artificial intelligence is in a kind of, let's say, like, you know, it is an emerging field at this point of time. Artificial intelligence is emerging. We have seen artificial intelligence systems in multiple domains. For example, we have seen this chat GPT thing, right, which is able to generate content based on the kind of, let's say, like, you know, command that you give. Then apart from this, another thing came, which is, I think, Sora, right? So using Sora, what you can do, you can create videos by just writing a sentence, by giving text prompt, right? You just need to give text prompt and it is going to create videos for you. So this is an artificial intelligence system, right? So what artificial intelligence is doing, it is producing work at a faster pace, right, which is outperforming the, let's say, performance of a human being, and at the same time it is able to do huge amount of work in less period of time with more accuracy. So the thing is, the idea of meritocracy is getting challenged. So basically in this article, the author says that the meritocracy that has flourished, right, in our society for so long is now being challenged because of the evolution of artificial intelligence. And in the coming years, right, what's going to happen? The artificial intelligence will be adopted in various other fields where human beings endeavor, right, to achieve greater results. So artificial intelligence will see its prominence in multiple areas, and there will be a time that will lead to the creation of artificial general intelligence. Okay, that will lead to creation of artificial general intelligence. Okay, artificial general intelligence. So what do we mean by artificial general intelligence? Basically, this is a stage of development of artificial intelligence system wherein artificial intelligence will outperform the abilities of human beings in terms of intellectual capacity, in terms of reasoning, in terms of giving outputs. So basically, this stage when artificial intelligence in general will outperform all human beings in its creativity, in its speed, in its accuracy in doing work. So that will be known as artificial general intelligence. So when artificial general intelligence will come, so this meritocracy will be, let's say, challenged, right? So in this article, they have discussed that, like, you know, how let's say artificial intelligence is acting as a disruptive factor, right? In this article, they have discussed how artificial intelligence is acting as a disruptive factor. Okay, so here the author has given multiple points. Author has given 6 points to talk about how artificial intelligence is acting as a disrupting factor. Number 1, it says, by its very nature, AI questions the basis of human merit by introducing a non-human entity capable of performing tasks, making decisions, and even creating at levels that can surpass human abilities. So number 1 is, earlier we used to consider that human beings are the ones who have the intelligence, but now that intelligence thing has, let's say, like, you know, there is an inanimate thing, there is a non-living being. Now that non-living being has assumed intelligence. Now it is also able to produce, let's say, creativity. It is able to do work, and sometimes it outperforms the human being also. So, like, you know, this is why artificial intelligence is disrupting. Apart from this, author has talked about another point. Author says that the advent of artificial intelligence challenges the traditional notion of individual merit by prioritizing access to technology. Individuals with access to AI tools can gain a significant advantage, not necessarily due to their personal abilities, but because of the enhanced capabilities of these tools. So here they are saying that the second thing is that artificial intelligence is posing challenge. Why it is posing challenge? It is posing challenge because a person who has access to artificial intelligence, that person will be able to create, let's say, more accurate work, more faster work than a person who is more intelligent than the person who has access to artificial intelligence, right? This is not because of individual capabilities of that person. This is because that person is, let's say, has access to artificial intelligence. Third point that the author says, that the AI systems trained on historical data can perpetuate and even exacerbate biases present in that data, leading to discriminatory outcomes in the areas such as hiring, law enforcement and lending. So here author is saying that artificial intelligence systems are black boxes. Okay, so if I talk about our AI system, if I talk about artificial intelligence system, they are generally they are considered to be black boxes, right? They are considered to be black box. It means if you are giving some input, in the input if you have, let's say, some incorrect information, that incorrect information is given as an input, it's going to replicate in all the answers that it is going to give. Not only this, if there are some biases in the input, let's say, like, there are some biases in the input, so what's going to happen, these biases will be reflected in the output also. So the thing is, the artificial intelligence system is going to give you output that will be accelerated, but that will be biased, and this is going to disrupt, let's say, like, human productivity, human thought process. It's going to, let's say, like, a person who has created the content, that person does have, let's say, access to AI system, but, like, the answer that he has, it is biased, and that person will assert that my output is coming from artificial intelligence, and then it's going to, let's say, like, somehow conflict with the person who has done great work without the use of artificial intelligence. These are the things. Fourth point, author says, right, fourth point is a recent paper published in Nature. Nature is a journal, okay, Nature Medicine, okay, Nature Medicine is a journal. So there was a paper was published. It showed that an AI tool can predict pancreatic cancer in a patient 3 years before radiologist can make the diagnosis. So basically what happens, like, there are radiologists, people, let's say, like, who do diagnosis of patients. So what radiologists are going to do, radiologists generally, let's say, check, let's say, a patient, they diagnose a patient, and then they tell that whether the patient has any kind of cancer or not. But here there was an article that was published in a leading journal which is known as Nature Medicine. In that article they have mentioned that now we have artificial intelligence system which is able to, let's say, predict that this particular patient is going to have cancer, right? And to come up with the same prediction, it will take another 3 years. I mean, like, for the cardiologist. So basically, so that artificial intelligence system is able to do diagnosis in advance. It is able to, let's say, predict the minutest things to come up with the accurate result. And it's going to take 3 more years for a radiologist to actually, let's say, like, diagnose whether the patient has chances of cancer or not. Then there is another point, which is fifth point. Here the author has said that the opaque nature of many artificial intelligence algorithm coupled with the concentration of power in a few tech giants poses significant challenges to accountability, right? So what is happening, as I discussed here also, they have mentioned about black box. So basically there are only few companies. For example, if I talk about companies like OpenAI, right? If I talk about companies like Meta, if I talk about companies like Microsoft or Amazon or IBM, right? So these are the companies that have access to artificial intelligence system, that own artificial intelligence system. So they do have, let's say, disproportionate power at their end because they are technological giants, right? And artificial intelligence are not devoid of biases. They do have inherent biases in it because the data that are being used to train the AI systems, these data related details are not available to the general public at large. It is not available with the government also. It is just available only with, let's say, those tech giants, those tech companies like Meta, OpenAI, Amazon, IBM, Microsoft, Google, etc. It is only available with those companies. So the thing is, the data on which these systems are trained is not known by the public at large. So this creates a kind of flux. I mean, like, a situation where we do have, let's say, huge amount of information, but what information is correct, what information is incorrect is not known. Okay, so here the author talks about that artificial intelligence has, let's say, inherent bias in it in the form of black boxes, and it is going to concentrate power. It is going to concentrate power, right? It's going to concentrate power in the hands of a few people, few individuals, right? Few individuals means those people who own the company like OpenAI, those people who own the company like Google, those people who own the company like IBM, right? Microsoft, etc. All right. So this is what the author says. Apart from this, the final point that the author gives, this is the 6th point. Here the author says that at the organizational level, the core of AI's power lie in data and algorithm that processes this data. Tech giants with access to unprecedented volumes of data have a distinct advantage in training more sophisticated and accurate AI models. This data hegemony means that these entities can set the standards for what constitutes merit in the digital age, right? So the merit in the digital age is going to be different than the merit that we used to have earlier, right? So in the digital age, a person will be having more merit if that person has learned these tools, right? The AI tools. If that person has access to the data, large volume of data that these companies have, it is going to give disproportionate advantage to the people, right, who own these companies. So basically, author says that artificial intelligence is disruptive. It is because of the 6 factors that we have discussed. So the thing is, finally in this article, author has discussed that there needs to be a sophisticated understanding of the interplay between technology and societal structure. And if we are able to understand the interplay between technology and societal structure, we will be able to take a step in advance, right, so that we can avoid any kind of conflict between meritocracy and artificial intelligence, right? So the thing is, artificial intelligence can develop in harmony with the society. Okay, so that's what different countries across the world is doing, right? And different, let's say, like multinational organizations are also doing. What they are doing is they are framing the best policies possible, right, so that artificial intelligence system, their development can be regulated from the beginning itself. If it is regulated for the better from the beginning, then it's going to, let's say, come up with good products, and that's going to benefit the humanity at large. So with this, let us now quickly move to another article. So this is going to be the article number 3, and this article is related to international relations. This article is important under international relations. So basically it says, in Gaza, peace prospects remain distant. Okay, so this topic talks about geopolitics that are at play in the Gaza Strip, geopolitics that are at play in the let's say Middle East. So basically we are going to understand about this topic. Let me write down the name of the topic. This is topic number 3 for the day. It says, in Gaza, peace prospects remain distant. All right. So to understand this particular thing, we need to learn about the map of Israel. So let me quickly draw a map of Israel. Okay. So let's say this particular region is Gaza Strip. Okay, this region is Gaza Strip. This particular region is West Bank. And in the middle here we have Israel. right? Over here we have, let's say, here we have Mediterranean Sea, and here we have Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan. So this is the map of the conflicting region, right? This is the map of this region. So when we talk about Gaza Strip, inside Gaza Strip resides a group which is known as Hamas. What is Hamas? Hamas is a non-state actor. What? Hamas is a non-state actor. And here in the Gaza Strip resides, let's say, normal citizens also. These citizens are known as Palestinians, right? These are Palestinian people. And Palestinian people reside in the Gaza Strip. They also reside in West Bank, okay? Palestinian people reside in Gaza Strip. They reside in West Bank also. So what is the problem that is happening now? What is the problem that the world is facing in this particular region? So basically what has happened on 7th of October 2023, the Hamas group has attacked on Israel. They have killed more than 1,000 people. Around 1,400 people have been killed, right, in Israel by Hamas. They have done attack through all the three routes, through sea routes, through land routes, and through from air also. They have done attack. So in retaliation, what Israel is doing, Israel is, let's say, attacking on Gaza Strip. It is attacking Palestinians in Gaza Strip, right? They want to destroy, or they want to totally root out Hamas from this particular region. But in the meanwhile, they have killed more than let's say, like, about 25,000 Palestinian people. This includes huge number of let's say, like, children. It includes huge number of women also. So they have been killed by Palestinian people, by Israeli people in this region, and this has led to an outcry. Outcry means human rights violation is happening. There are many countries in the world that are protesting against this particular attack of Israel on Hamas. However, there is a country which is South Africa. South Africa has even gone to International Criminal Court, right? It has gone to International Court of Justice, right? And filed a case against Israel that Israel is doing genocide in this particular region. But the International Court of Justice has given an interim order, right? And in that interim order, it has directed Israel to, let's say, to abide by the rulings of the International Court of Justice. It said that, you need to stop doing genocide in that particular region, and you need to report us back within 1 month about the actions that you have taken in this regard, right? But the thing is, despite all these efforts from international humanitarian organizations, from different other countries, why Israel is not stopping its, let's say, warfare? Why Israel is not going for ceasefire in the Gaza Strip? Precisely that point has been discussed by the author in this article. So author says that in Gaza, peace prospects remain distant. Okay, peace prospects remain distant. So it is very difficult that, like, peace may be brought in Gaza very soon. Why it is the case? Because if I talk about Israel, so in Israel there is a prime minister, there is a prime minister of Israel, Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay, Mr. Benjamin, I'm just writing. So Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu is the leader in Israel, and he is being supported by, let's say, far right people. He is being supported by those people who have extremist ideology in Israel, and he is in power. So basically, when we talk about Israel, Israel is a big, let's say, ally, or it's a big friendly country of the United States of America. It's a big friendly country of the United States of America. Okay, Israel is a big friendly country of the United States of America. So in USA, presently we have Joe Biden, right, as the president. And during, let's say, Joe Biden's tenure, Israel has received huge, let's say, support in terms of military, in terms of financial assistance, in terms of, let's say, diplomatic assistance also. So Israel has got, let's say, hugely supported under Joe Biden. However, what is happening? basically like Israeli Prime Minister, which is Benjamin Netanyahu. So he has more closer ties with Donald Trump. So what he is doing, basically he is perpetuating this warfare so that he can remain in power. Because since when his country is in a state of war, right, in that country no election will happen. If no election happens, so power will not be, let's say, given by the current prime minister to another prime minister. So that's why he is there in power. So he wants to perpetuate the warfare for a long period, so that meanwhile in the United States of America election happens, next president comes, and the moment next president comes, if Donald Trump comes, so he will be supporting Benjamin Netanyahu hugely. So that's why in this article the author has said that that's why we may see that the peace prospects in this region seems to be a distant dream. Okay, peace process is not easy in this particular region. Why? Because of internal politics in this particular country. Because here what happens, the moment this person, the prime minister of let's say Israel, let's say comes out of his power, so there can be charges against him, and from courts he may be sent to jail also. Since he is the prime minister now, he will be remaining in power, and now he has immunity by virtue of holding that particular post. So that's why he do not want to give up his post, and that's why he want to let's say prolong this particular warfare. And now what has happened, the Secretary of State from the United States of America, Antony Blinken, he has visited Israel 4 times earlier, and for the 5th time he has visited Israel again to ask Israel to go for a ceasefire. However, soon after Antony Blinken has left Israel, let's say soon after he went back to United States of America, the Israeli Prime Minister has made it clear that it is not possible for us that we let's say go for a ceasefire. We are very near to our target of eliminating Hamas. Okay, this is the thing. So this is what is happening in this region. All right, so finally in this article what the author has said, author said that as Biden means the president of the United States of America. Okay, as Biden and Netanyahu struggle for their survival on the chessboard of domestic politics, scores of Palestinians are dying daily under the lethal barrage of Israeli firepower. Okay, so here author has talked about what is the present status over there, and here they have also talked about Saudi Arabia. Why Saudi Arabia is important? Because there has been an accord which is known as Abraham Accord, and that Abraham Accord basically is a kind of peace treaty between Israel and Arab states. So basically Saudi Arabia was about to sign the Abraham Accord, but Hamas has attacked on Israel and Israel is retaliating, so that's why Saudi Arabia has come out of it. And this Abraham Accord, I mean United States of America has played key role, very important role in signing that Abraham Accord, in let's say instrumenting that Abraham Accord in that particular region. So it is an accord under which Israel will, let's say, establish peace with the Arab states. Why it is important? Because long back in 1967 and 1973, there have been series of warfare between Israel and other Arab states. And in those warfares, Israel has time and again captured the territories from the nearby countries. Which countries? It has captured the territories of, let's say, Syria, it has captured the territory of Lebanon, it has captured the territory of Egypt, Jordan and all. Means nearby countries, territories have been captured by it. Now these countries whose territories have been captured by Israel, they are not happy about it. But the thing is Israel is a nuclear power, means they have nuclear weapons. So that's why other countries are not attacking on Israel, because they have nuclear capacity, they can destroy any country, they can, let's say, devastate the population in any country. So that's why it is able to stay, let's say, calmly in this particular region, right? So this is the thing. So having understood this, now let us quickly move to another article. So now we're going to move to this article, which is, let's say, it talks about misplaced priorities. So it is important. It says misplaced priorities. So Now to understand what is the misplaced priority, we need to understand our, let's say, ties with our neighboring countries. So basically in this article, the author has discussed about free movement regime. Okay, so let me write down the name of the topic first. So this is going to be our topic number 4. It says misplaced priorities. Okay, misplaced priorities. So to understand this, let me quickly draw the map of India. Okay, so this is just a rough sketch of the map of Northeast India. So to the eastern part of India, we have a country. Let's say we have a country. Let me draw the boundary of that country. Okay, so this is just a rough map of this country, and name of this country is Myanmar. Right, this is northeastern portion of India. So basically with Myanmar, India shares international border. So like this is the international border, right, between India and Myanmar. So what happens, there are many communities, there are many, let's say, people who are residing in the border areas between India and Myanmar. So they are residing very near to the border areas. So the thing is, before Britishers came to India, before they came to Myanmar, so it was a kind of uniform territory. But after colonial power came over here, they have drawn boundary. And so that the boundary that was drawn, right, that the boundary that was drawn, so that boundary was drawn by colonial power. But the thing is here, who resides? The people who have ethnic and cultural ties with one another. So people to the left side of this border and people to the right side of this border in the nearby areas, they belong to same ethnicity, they belong to same familial ties, right? And these people are in favor of free movement, right, across the border from Myanmar to India and from India to Myanmar. And keeping this thing in mind, the government of India has earlier come up with a regime which is known as free movement regime. What? Free movement regime, right? They have come up with free movement regime. In short, it is known as FMR. So what happens under free movement regime? That if a person resides in bordering areas, in nearby bordering areas, let's say he resides in the Myanmar side, if that person or his family member, if they want to come to India, they do not need passport, they do not need visa. All that they need is a, let's say, like a border pass. They need a border pass. So who is going to give the border pass? So the security forces who are placed here in the bordering areas. So this border pass is being provided to the people, right, in the bordering areas, and this is being provided by the security force that is deployed in this particular region. So a person who has who wants to come from Myanmar to India from the neighboring bordering region, he or she just needs a border pass. He can cross over to India, he can reside in India for sufficient time, let's say for 6 weeks, right, and then he can have multiple entry and multiple exit from this. So it is an easier way of for these people to come from Myanmar to India, from India to Myanmar, and they will be having their cultural familial ties intact. But what has happened recently, the Home Minister of India, right, so Home Minister of India has decided to do away, right, to cancel. Basically he has decided that we are going to cancel the free movement regime. Okay, we are going to cancel the free movement regime. Why the Home Minister of India has announced to cancel the free movement regime? Basically he said that, like, since we have inculcated this free movement regime, there are many people who are carrying out extremist activity by crossing over to the border. They are, let's say, increasing terrorism. People are infiltrating into our borders. They are also bringing arms and ammunitions with them, right? They are doing smuggling activities as well. So because of these reasons, Home Minister of India had earlier announced that we want to do away with this free movement regime. However, in this article, author has mentioned that this free movement regime has, let's say, like positive impacts which far outweigh the negative impacts that is associated with this. So through this article, author wants to give a kind of, let's say, like, you know, give a kind of like idea or suggestion to us that free movement regime is something which is desirable, because the positive effects, the positive impacts that it has, it far outweighs the negative aspects associated with this. Okay, so this is the thing. So here it says free movement regime between India and Myanmar had more benefits than cost. Okay, it has more benefits than cost. This is the thing. So with this, now let us quickly move to another article. We are going to understand this article. It says ties across the sea. All right, this is ties across the sea. So this is again a article which is important under international relations. In this article, they have discussed about the relation between India and United Arab Emirates. As we know, United Arab Emirates is a country which is located in the Gulf region, right? So the thing is, why across the sea? Because between India and United Arab Emirates, we have Arabian Sea. Which sea? We have Arabian Sea. So the thing is, the relation that India has with United Arab Emirates is at its strong level, right? We have very close connection, we have close ties with one another between United Arab Emirates and India. Why it is the case? Because huge number of Indian people, Indian diaspora reside in United Arab Emirates. So almost half of the country's population in UAE is of Indians. So a Indian who resides in United Arab Emirates, he does not feel that he is abroad, because huge number of Indians are residing there. This was number one factor. Second factor is, in the last 10 years, right, from 2014 to 2024, the Prime Minister of India has visited the United Arab Emirates 7 times. And United Arab Emirates, let's say, like, you know, the president of that country has been invited in India as the chief guest in one of our Republic Day event. And apart from this, recently, I mean, like, you know, last time when Prime Minister of India has visited there, he has requested, right, the king or the president of United Arab Emirates to allocate some land for constructing a temple. So they have allocated, I think, 2 acres of land or 20 acres of land. Basically, huge amount of land had been allocated by them to construct temple in Abu Dhabi, basically to construct temple in Dubai. So what has happened? So now in Abu Dhabi, a Hindu temple has been constructed. So the temple that has been constructed, it is constructed by a society which is known as BAPS. BAPS is Bocha Swami, like, you know, so there is a full name of this. So what they are doing, they are constructing a temple which is known as Akshardham temple. You might have seen, let's say, like, you know, branches of Akshardham temple in India. In Delhi, there is a Akshardham temple. In Gujarat, there is a Akshardham temple. And I believe there are other places also in India where we have Akshardham temple. So they are building a Swaminarayan Akshardham temple over there. So that is one thing. So, like, you know, when we talk about United Arab Emirates, so this country is, let's say, populated by Muslim people, but they have allowed a Hindu temple to be built in their country. So it talks about tolerance, right, in their civilization. Not only this, the government of India has recently signed comprehensive economic partnership agreement, right, with United Arab Emirates. We have also, let's say, like, you know, like it has been matched by bilateral investment treaty between these two countries. And recently 10 more agreements have been signed. So the thing is, what is going to happen? In Dubai, there will be a World Government Summit where the Prime Minister of India is going to visit, and, like, you know, so the thing is, like, in this article, basically they have talked about that these two countries have ties to such an extent which becomes an example for the entire world, right? That this way there should be ties between two neighboring countries or close, let's say, like countries that are, let's say, maintaining good relation with one another. Now with this, let us come to another article. This article is going to be next article for our discussion. This is based on science and technology. In this article, they have talked about a new video generator application which is based on artificial intelligence. Okay, it is known as Sora. Okay, so let us understand about this topic. It is going to be our topic number 5. Okay, this is going to be topic number 5. So basically in this article we will talk about OpenAI's Sora. So what do we mean by Sora? Sora is a Japanese word that means rising sun. Okay, Sora means rising sun, or simply it means sun. I'm just writing rising sun for our purpose, right? Sora, sun. We know, let's say in our in our planetary system where Earth is a part, so we have sun as the, let's say, central part. Sun gives us energy, right? And because of sun, all creativity happens on our planet and in let's say in our solar system. So here Sora means rising sun. What is this Sora all about? So when we talk about Sora, so Sora is a kind of AI application, artificial intelligence based application. So in this application, if I talk about what inputs you need to give, you need to give just text input, text prompt. This is known as text prompt. Means simply you need to write a sentence. For example, you want that dogs climbing on the mountain. If you type it, it is going to create a video for you, okay? And the output that it is going to generate, this output will be in the form of video. And the quality of this video is very high, okay? The quality is very high. Means studio grade videos will be generated by this system. So OpenAI, this particular company, is known for its, let's say for its innovation in artificial intelligence sphere. Earlier this company has come up with various projects. One is known as ChatGPT. Second, it has come up with WorldCoin project, right? It has come up with WorldCoin project. So it has come up with ChatGPT, it has come up with WorldCoin. So ChatGPT is a kind of, let's say you write some text, it is going to give you answer, and that answer will be in detail, right? This is the thing. And WorldCoin is a kind of cryptocurrency based platform, right? So that they have created. Okay. So finally in this article they have discussed about Sora as an application, okay? That how Sora is going to revolutionize the way people are creating videos. So it says that creating video becomes easy with this application. And also if you have an already made video, if there are gaps in that video, those gaps can be filled by Sora application. Okay, so here they have said that Sora is going to, let's say, create videos, and these videos will be very much helpful. So at this point of time, Sora has not been released for public. It is given to some institutions so that they can do testing on this application. So recently the Sam Altman, who is the, let's say, founder of OpenAI, who is the CEO of OpenAI, he has released a video, or he has drafted some text on X, which is Twitter. So there he has mentioned about this, let's say Sora application. This is the thing. So with this, let us now move to another article. It says, why have fresh protests erupted in Senegal? So today when we started our discussion, right? Today when we started our discussion, we discussed about map of Senegal. So Senegal is a country which is located in the western side of Africa. It has its borders, right? Maritime border with, Atlantic Ocean. So basically here, why we are talking about, let's say, protest in Senegal. Basically in Senegal, the person who is the president, he has decided to postpone the election in Senegal. So after postponing election, he is going to be seated. He is going to hold his power for 10 more months. And that's why opposition member parties, like opposition party members and also general public, are protesting in Senegal. That has led to killing of few of the people. One person has been killed recently, and before this 6 more people have been killed. And Senegal is the only country, right, in that particular belt of Africa where there has been no coup, no coup d'etat so far. Military coup has not happened. But in all neighboring countries, military coup has happened, right, in Africa. So this is the thing. So now here basically what has happened, there is a group also which is known as Economic Community of the West African States. So these Economic Community of the West African States, what they are doing, they are playing a very good role in maintaining stability in that particular region. Okay, so this is the thing. With this, let us quickly move to the last article for the day. I'll be hardly taking, let's say, few minutes, 2-3 minutes to cover this article. It says, what are IPCC's assessment reports? Okay, so what is the full form of IPCC? IPCC stands for Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. So this is an organization under the United Nations. This organization comes up with a report, and this report is very significant. This report talks about climate change. This report talks about what steps must be taken by different governments so that climate change can be reduced, so the effect of climate change can be reduced. So basically, so far IPCC has come up with 6 assessment reports. How many reports? 6 assessment reports it has already come up with. Now it is going to come up with 7th assessment report, right? So in all those 6 assessment reports, what they have talked about. So basically, since 1988, the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change produced 6 reports. So in 3 of these reports, right, so they have published, let's say, like, they have these were prepared by scientists from 195 countries, and these are part of United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which is known as UNFCCC. So they examine the science, consequences, adaptation and vulnerability, as well as mitigation aspects of climate change. So basically, they have already come up with 6 such reports, right? And recently they have come up with one more instrument, which is known as which is very important. So that is known as Global Stocktake Report. Okay, they have come up with Global Stocktake Report. So what is this Global Stocktake Report? Basically, Global Stocktake Report is a report under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So there was a Paris Agreement that was signed way back in 2015. So under this Paris Agreement, all the countries have adopted a target, and that target was to keep the climate change below 1.5 degree as compared to pre-industrial level. Keep the global warming below 1.5 degree, 1.5 degree centigrade below pre-industrial level, right? And if it is not met, in that case, they will try their best to keep the climate or global warming well below 2 degrees centigrade by the end of this century, by the end of 2100. Okay, but in the Paris Agreement, they have also decided that after every 5 years, they are going to come up with a Global Stocktake Report, and this Global Stocktake Report will talk about that what steps have been taken by different countries. Are those steps effective? Has those steps produced any result or not? So they had to come up with this Global Stocktake Report in the year of 2020 because Paris Agreement was signed in 2015. But the thing is, 2020 was a COVID-19 pandemic year. Recently in, let's say in Dubai, right? So recently in Dubai, what has happened? The Conference of Parties COP28 has happened. So here they have come up with, let's say here they have come up with Dubai Declaration. Also they have released the Global Stocktake Report here, right? They have released the Global Stocktake Report. So that's why Global Stocktake Report becomes significant, and United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change becomes significant. These things are there. Okay, so in this article they have discussed about that what is IPCC's assessment reports. We have discussed about it. They are going to come up with 7th assessment report. Okay, so you can read this article to learn little more on this topic. So that will be all from my side for the day. Thank you so much everyone for attending today's session. I hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you.